Recording.
It is in progress. Okay, so don't do anything, Ed.
Okay,
Just
did any of you have a job where you had to do one simple thing? Like turn on a computer or something like that? Well, it's very hard if you've got 4 helpers
I'll say different
because they all
things.
want you to start from their finish page or something like that. So that I'm in is a miracle. And I'll try to live up to the word of being a miracle. Hi,
They hear
you come here often?
I don't know if they can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Okay.
You know, Karima,
Sorry.
go away. For 45 minutes, go away. Now, I hope I've offended everybody by chastising her for interrupting me all the time. But you can interrupt me too.
No food for you today.
Kareem, look at that. No food for me today, she said under her breath.
That's right. Oh, I meant you get your own food.
I was going to have a master class satsang today. But Karima's here. And so is Michael. And each have a different way of getting satsang going. Since there are about 35 computers in this house and maybe 5 times that many keywords. So I want you all to send me what you think the hyperlink is for this satsang, including any gang numbers we need to know. Just send it. There are 2 ways to be in the world. Actually, from the first moment. But better I left it at the time. I went to that first year's school as a baby. When we practice self-discovery by diving within and ever diving deeper and deeper into our own darkness within, extending down to our pelvis. Just stay there. However you can do it to get to here. My way was to just look within. Like Robert said in all of his satsangs, just dive within. And I dove within. Just heeding my guru. And actually, it was my own inclination too. just to shut up and dive within. You notice everybody you run into is a talker or a fighter or a farter. And they each are doing something to be noticed or to escape into the background where nobody would notice you. What the fuck am I talking about? Well, it's group dynamics.
Hmm.
I'm the leader. You expect a lot of me because of that. Except you don't pay me. So my offering can be pretty cheap. There are two ways to be in the world. To be sunk in it ourselves, where everything I meet, where everything I write makes sense first person, because we're in the same speaking universe of words and of meaning. When you practice it enough to be able to imagine yourself within, about the size of a doll, standing or lying on that deepest perennium resting station. You quite disappear, even to yourself. That's one ladder down. Another ladder down is to find that emptiness within yourself, where there's no thinking in the background or foreground. There's just you alone and me. The proper thing to do as the student is to listen without mind. Just take the truth that's handed you as truth and work with it that way, rather than to figure out some theory. There are so many people out there messing around with language. They've been doing it for 60, 70 years. It was the basis of modern philosophy for a while. To translate every problem into something that can be resigned or proven. Never got there. So subsequently, we invented the atom bomb, the H bomb, satellite rockets, super submarines. And we did that out of our mind. Our mind can produce masterpieces. And if you can show others the masterpiece, they will worship you because they know that you understand something they don't. In this class, I always try to get you to your own root, which is to know yourself without words, simply as your own presence. And your own presence is rather simple. It's what you are when you're sitting for meditation and talking at the same time. Your body is stiff. Yet, internally, nothing is there until a question is asked or some other activity is initiated. Just being alone with my mind is very lonely. There's a step even lower than mindlessly mindlessly not knowing. That's where you feel or contemplate. Feel is better. Emptiness everywhere, especially in your chest and your heart. This is where the Shakti for the question, who am I, resides. Deep inside yourself, if you get out of your mind, you know yourself as silence. I'm doing that now. From silence, I'm watching the room, feeling my own self while watching the room. Our class is one, but there may be 25 participants, and each one will have their own interpretation of our satsang. Be still and know that presence within yourself as God. Or be still and know yourself as God. It's up to you, though, to empty out and don't continue to image things or to name them. Escape entirely deeper than the imaging where they want to make you some sort of spiritual noun or action figure. This is about your whole life. This isn't about some short-term way of being in the world. This is you here and now, not in the world. If you can quiet yourself, where you can go far deeper, in your mind. You slipped under that barrier between being totally empty and this above that as empty, but with thoughts, intention. You got to get rid of that, which appears to be you, but it's not you. You should be with the person that is me. As well as that person you image. We all hold together. A line of possession touching each of us as we're brought into satsang. If you've been practicing meditation a long time and haven't got there, there are ways you can force it. Like sitting 7 hours a day for a couple of weeks. Or go visit a Zen satsang. It lasts 7 days. You'll have the most amazing experiences, more and more amazing as you think less and less with your mind. And you just walk around this pre-conscious emptiness state. By pre-conscious, I mean you're aware of it at the bottom of our normal consciousness. The strip of consciousness that contains everything. Everything we think of, dream of, talk about. Imagine starting life anew in New York City without a dime to your name. So many stories we've heard like that. But what if you came to New York City as a seeker and you had no idea who you were? You just search for this elusive self to somehow get a self that you are lacking before. And then you run into the inter-satsang struggle. In some satsangs, the teacher says, you are something spiritual beyond the objects within the universe. How does that fit you? When practicing meditation, I recommend sitting upright. Sitting as straight as possible. And in a way that you can be relaxing, aware, but not aware that you're aware. The awareness is just there and you're not aware of it until the awareness focuses on it. Deepest part of you must be that lower layer of self where you know nothing. It's where all the messages contained in words point you. To that room of language, of English, German, French, with thousands of known, what are those words called? Nouns. And then words that the teacher tells you about who and what you are. This is the very aggressive Zen style that I learned. You are yourself, don't forget it. Talk to another on the screen just after satsang or just before satsang. And you can feel lightning bolts moving within you, waiting for something deep to happen. But your primary state of existence without words or understanding. Silence. So, as it is now, I can witness the world as theater and audience. And someone else can do the same with their sense of presence. So we have space, we have depth, we have no mind. All of those belong to the spiritual side of words. On the other side, we have the world. And even worse than that, we have the human world, which is wrapped up in mind all the time. This is the world of those who think all the time and they can't escape it. They try and they try and they try and they can't escape their own mind. Until one day they do. And they know then what I'm talking about. And then you take those moments of lack of knowing, embodied within a cognizing body. And we have no one watching no one. And there's absolute peace within. If we turn the other way, we can catch the world, so to speak. Go to a very low level. I mean that of people that use satsang and meditation. Go to a very low level. Then experience yourself. After some practice, you'll never be separate from the sword of silence. It'll always be somewhere within you for easy access. And you begin to see the uselessness of all that information we have about the external world, which is based on nothing, which is real, which is not real. And we find out that it's only real when we feel real, and it's not real when we feel empty. Or however, could be twisted the other way. When you go in, just to go into yourself, you can feel yourself in your body. If we had it, I would bless you all. It's freedom. Your mind is a tool to take you there. And the practice is to do as much as possible with the least amount of expenditure of words. So you begin to live in the world inside of yourself rather than in the concepts that are playing through the mind all the time. You're living in your own live selfness, the essence of who we are. And that thing looks within itself, finds either the divine or emptiness. And then continues in Zazen. Once you begin to understand the whole process of being emptied, explored in that empty state, and then exalting silence, we'll have another state. Which is with words. And this state absolutely kills the silent state because it requires more of our attention. When you approach the boundaries of life and death, of emptiness and sentience, your world is so narrow. You can't see well enough to make a sandwich. In this state, there's not a lot of room for activity. This state is purely for knowing your own self as a dynamic entity. And it implies you go round and round it, and each time a little more rarefied and thoughtless, until you're caught in the thoughtless state. Which means no movement of mind whatsoever. And there's no air to stop you from going within. Emptiness is total freedom. The more you practice, the finer the experiences of no mind are. At first, they're new. You don't know what to make of them or the experience of your body at this level, where it interacts with trees and flowers. Mm.
Satsang.
Mark, can you bring us down into the real world, which isn't real?
Sure, I'm willing. I'm just not sure. You want me, you're expecting some music? Is that it? Or
I'm just expecting to see the show that you have arranged in your mind.
oh, that. Okay. That wasn't the proper cue. You threw me off guard. I would like to know though, and I've asked you this last time, if your recent experiences, including some very scary ones, have simplified or changed the way that you relate the message of the teachings.
No.
Okay. I'd like to add one thing, which I've talked about before, but I'd like to just repeat it. That the deepening that one can go into is, like, for me, it's very self-validating. So it's like it's constantly showing me deeper and more, and it keeps it's almost like I realize that my life is being lived by whatever this is, and it's showing me ways of going into realms that I previously only touched on briefly, or so, and also it seems to have its own power supply. It seems to doesn't go on my power, it goes on its power, like it's self-contained. Everything is all in one, including its energy.
wind it up.
Okay, we're winding up the group. Edgy has said his thing. And has no more words to share with us for today.
But watch out for next week. Because I won't have these two people inhibiting the development of satsang. I'll leave the house. I'll be elsewhere.
You did great by bringing it to the marketplace, Edgy.
Mhm.
Despite the company intruding on your, it worked. It was good.
Edgy. How about if I turn off the recording and just put on some chant? How would that feel?
Nice. That would be nice. Yeah,
All right, let's do it. Give me a sec.
thank you. Mm.